All right, so we are watching the stock market reacting to a surprise GDP number. It was a contraction, fell 0.3%. That was a bit of a surprise and a bit of a contrast to 2.4% growth in the fourth quarter of last year. Joining us now, fresh out of that cabinet meeting, is Secretary of Energy Chris Wright. Chris, thank you very much for joining, Mr. Secretary. What should we make of that? Obviously, energy is a huge part of America's growth story, especially under this administration.
Yeah, look, it's 1 quarter of data. If you look in the specifics of it, huge growth in investment in the United States and growth in consumption. So look, there's many components of GDP, so I wouldn't read too much into 1 quarter. And we're in the middle of sausage making right now, right? We're sort of restructuring global trade and how funds flow. So yeah, there's uncertainty out there right now. I think in a few weeks, certainly before too long, we'll have clarity, and I think we'll be in a very strong position.
All right, Mr. Secretary, so one piece of data. What do you watch for economic progress? What is your barometer for how things are going?
I mean, biggest barometer for me, energy consumption. That drives human activity. And I look at wages, particularly wages of the lower income, the bottom quartile or the bottom half. These are the people that are hampered the most by bad energy policies and by bad national policies. So you want to see strong employment growth. You want to see energy consumption growth. And right now, we want to see growth of American exports. That's the big trade imbalance. We need to export more products to more countries.
So talk to me about the energy consumption that we're seeing today, because it is notable how far crude oil prices have fallen under this administration. Since Inauguration Day, oil prices were at $75.83 when President Trump took office. Oil prices have now fallen to $58. That's in trading today. Now, obviously, that would possibly mean a good sign for gas prices to eventually fall further. But is this a reflection of more oil production or less demand and a reflection of a struggling economy?
So I think it's two pieces. One of them is absolutely the message of President Trump. We're no longer going to stand in the way of oil production and natural gas production in our country. We had 4 years of pretty strident, all of government attempts to hamper oil and gas production. That's going to push prices up because people are worried about supply. That has been reversed. And leading up to inauguration and even after inauguration, President Trump has been steadfast. Everything we can do to grow U.S. oil and gas production, coal production, electricity production, every production in this country. That's the positive factor, and I think that's a huge part. That's probably the biggest piece of it. But where we're going through right now with trade talks and tariffs and how that deck's going to be reshuffled, of course, that's uncertainty. And that creates people fearful about delays in investment and what that might mean for future economic growth. So I'm sure there's a little bit of fear in there as well, but I think that fear is going to get sorted out in the next few weeks.
Interesting.
And
I want to finish off with this. We only have about 45 seconds to go here. Gas prices have come down over the past year since the previous administration, that is for sure. When you look at gas now at $3.18 a gallon. But since Inauguration Day, they're actually up. Gas prices since Election Day up 2.6%, since Inauguration Day up 2%. When are those gas prices going to start to come down?
Oh, I think you'll see it. You'll see it. There's a supply chain lag of oil going in and refined products. Also, we've seen some growth in gasoline demand. You know, as people drive more and travel more, that the demand pushes it up. But I think you'll see gasoline prices drift down in the next few months, and you might see oil drift the other way.
Interesting. Great to have you on. I'm sorry we're a little short on time. That cabinet meeting obviously taking up a lot of time, but we appreciate your time, Mr. Secretary. Please do come back soon.
You bet. Happy to do it.
All right. John?